Here is a famous basketball player. We literally had a school group run up to take photos with Stephen. You were a good sport. They were nice. And this is Susan Archer, ladies and gentlemen. She is world famous as well because she's traveled the world. She's taught me everything I know around the world. Oh, and here comes Sam. So we are in Arashiyama, the famous bamboo forest here. I'm not going to talk loudly for all the obvious reasons, but I'm just by a temple at the moment. And here we are. Hey, Rochelle, do you want to say hi to the world? There we are. We're live on YouTube right now.
Hi. Hey, this is fantastic, this bamboo forest.
Isn't it?
Loving it.
Isn't it fantastic? And it's a gorgeous day, too.
It's a trip of a lifetime. You all have to come.
Yeah, I think I'll have to do another one.
Yes, absolutely.
Although, well, it's the best time of year. Because I wouldn't come in cherry blossom. Imagine twice as many people.
Yeah, this is fabulous.
Isn't it fun?
Beautiful weather.
Oh, the weather's lovely today.
Already loving it.
So there we are. Ready for the bamboo, ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. There we go. Now, Moso bamboo. And of course, this is meant to be a peaceful place of contemplation. You will notice, look at the crowds, ladies and gentlemen. Now, when you get really big crowds, hey, Diane, nice to see you, my friend. Yes, a very last minute live, as it always is. But this is Kyoto, of course. And if you come to Japan for the first time, everyone comes to Kyoto. The city architecture is quite bland, to be honest, but it has all these sites. This is one of the most visited sites in all of Japan. And it's all about the sound here. And it's kind of hard with the big crowds. Also, you will see a huge number of school children, and that's because apparently, I can hear a train going by. It's this time of year that the school kids apparently go on all their outings, and they do so because it's the best climate. So again, people always want to come here for cherry blossom, but this is not cherry blossom, but this is fall colors. Look at this bamboo out here. Hi, Jay, nice to see you. So it is just gorgeous, and we've got a spectacular day. I'm even wearing shorts, which is not necessarily the done thing here, but kind of had to do it. So I take you for a walk up here, and then I'd like to head down to the street. I was a little concerned that I would actually lose connection. Yesterday, my phone kept cutting out at one of the temples just because it's so busy. It is beautiful. Absolutely. Have a look. And you look up through. So finally, I'm doing a live at a time zone that works for people in North America, which is obviously different, but it's about 10 o'clock, just after 10 o'clock in the morning here. And this is the quieter time of day to come here. There's Sam trying to get his mom to... Oh, no, that sounded suspiciously like a monkey to me, but I'm not sure. It wouldn't be here. Some kind of bird, I guess. So Kyoto is 1.4 million people, but really it's part of Greater Osaka. Now, Osaka is the city in Japan that often rates in that kind of top 10 or top 20 cities in the world for Human Development Index. But the greater area, look at these school, look at, there's some good tough looking dudes. Super polite, of course, the Japanese always. But Greater Osaka rates as one of the most livable cities in the world. And this is fun. And of course, tourism from all over the world at the moment because, oh, there it goes. There's the sounds. Just saying Greater Osaka is about 20 million people. Of course, Greater Tokyo is 37 million. But this is what they're really after. So I don't know if you're hearing it through the screen, but it's the sound of the wind blowing through the bamboo, which is just magical to hear. And of course now, also this is geisha culture here. I doubt I'll be able to do a live later on. It'll just be so crazy busy. But I mentioned the geisha culture because we just had a very interesting conversation on the bus this morning. Very interesting conversation on the bus this morning because, some people, particularly in the after-war period, the American occupation, geisha became somewhat synonymous with the idea of prostitution, but that's not what it is. It's a respected profession in the sense that it's sort of like the 9th century version of a theater actor. But they're women performers historically. Hi there. Hi, everyone joining. So it's fun. I'm really hoping, because my very dear old friend Rod is on my tour with me, so I'm hoping his mum is catching this live. Grazie. Hoping she's able to join on. I was even hoping my mum could join on. So it's a good time zone over there at home. And look at that up there. Spectacular. So now, yesterday I was at the Golden Temple. You'll see that on the Facebook page. And again, huge crowds. This is huge crowds, but because you can look up and get away from it, it's pretty neat to see as well. But what I'm going to try and do is loop around and then take you down to the street, which was really cool. All sorts of interesting shops and lots of course, food. Now, the food generally, I do find after a week or so in Japan, I love breakfast because I get to eat salad, but which is healthy. But the evenings, do a lot of the barbecue. But I do end up taking too much salt in, I feel like. Now, also, I've only had sake once so far on the trip, but that's fun to do. So I'm just going to get out of the crowds here. And then I'm going to loop around. Sorry. Oh, there's a group photo going on there. So I'm going to let them have their group photo. There we go. So there's temples all through here. That was fun. It is so nice to see people having a good time, of course. So just talking broadly about Japan at the moment, of course, the infrastructure is second to none. Now, a lot of other places around the world have caught up, but it's still just remarkable infrastructure. So that is, that is interesting. And of course, sparkling clean. You do get kind of some of the roads broken up a bit from earthquakes and that sort of thing, but no graffiti anywhere. Virtually no garbage cans, and you are responsible for your own garbage, which is important. I'm sorry, everyone, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. I think something just tickled me in the ear, but as I do come down around here, talking about infrastructure, there's a train station right down. Oh, it's a busy place. Well, just this island of Honshu that I'm on here is home to 104 million people. So all of Japan's 123 million, but Honshu is more densely populated than the UK, and that's a good example because the United Kingdom, or Great Britain, is just slightly bigger than Honshu. Although if you take Scotland off, you just think of England, it's sort of a similar density. The difference is in England, they tend to spread people around because it's a much flatter country, whereas here, the mountains really limit growth and people live down in the lower valleys. So Kyoto itself, which was the ancient capital, is down along the edge of a lake. But really do look at a map of Japan and scan into Kyoto and then Osaka, and you'll see that it's one huge urban conglomeration. But they do their very best to have green spaces. And then things like this morning, I went over to the train station and I went for my kind of morning exercise, and I ran up the stairs. It was 11 floors of stairs, but this train station has 5 levels of trains in it. I mean, it's just incredible. So transport is a huge element of the society. And remember, they have to build these high-speed trains to adapt to the fact that they also have earthquakes here, right? So that side of it is remarkable. And it is also fun being back in a society where people stand, oh, check this out. And they stand middle of the evening, no traffic at all, and everyone waits for the light to change. Just dutifully. I've seen one person jaywalk. So look at this. Sort of, I don't know, they look like lily pads on steroids. Isn't that spectacular? It's really, really rather incredible to see this. Just beautiful. So that is fun. And then way up, every now and then I've been looking at these, it's true, Diane is saying can't be a rebel in Japan. Yes, you know, if you jaywalked, and I have to admit, I have done it once or twice, but just tiny little streets if no one's around. But I don't think anyone would say anything. They just wouldn't do anything else. Now let me take you down one of these streets. This is fantastic over here. All right, I'm sure I can loop around, but I want to take you. Oh no, that's just a cafe in there, and there's the train station. So I'm going to chance it that I can get down this way without going back and try and head down to the main street. And then we can wander back together because it's fun to see the different shops as well. So you do see people, particularly in Kyoto, renting the kimonos. And look at this taxi company. It's called Sakura Taxi. Sakura is cherry blossom. And this is the city that is most synonymous with the blossoms. They do come out, of course, around the whole country. And that tends to be March. Now they come out, I know, in Washington, D.C., I think, sort of March. And there's a gift from the Japanese government for them. And then, of course, Victoria, British Columbia, they can come out in January. So, you know what? I might have to turn around. I might not be able to get down here. Now, if I weren't giving a live right now, then I could check my maps. Oh, no, there is a bridge. Let me see. It's just fun to come through here. This is where sometimes you just need to use Google Translate. Language is still a barrier. And of course, it's not their fault. This is their country, not my country. But last night, we were out for dinner, and that was a really fun experience because they had a computer screen and they had an English tab on it. And several languages that you could choose from. And what's really neat we were talking about is you can pace your own dinner, right? You can order something at your own pace. And it's remarkable how quickly things arrive if you order them. I was sort of hoping, no, I think I'm going to have to turn around, ladies and gentlemen. There's some more bamboo. But I thought there was a bridge here, but there isn't. So I'm going to have to loop around into the crowds because if I go... Actually, let's just come down here for a minute. Show you some of the houses as well. What it looks like. So many Japanese, of course, live in apartment blocks, as you can imagine, when a country that's this crowded. So this is quite rare. I would imagine housing like this would be incredibly expensive. We were looking at rents one day. So a lot of the other costs right now, we're in this little window, and this is why tourism is just booming in Japan, because the yen has fallen about 50%. You know what? This other comment is, love how green it is. It is so wonderfully green. These mountains up in the distance here really make the break. So I'm really on the eastern slope of Japan. And that's where the bulk of people live down in this island. Lovely flowers up here. The mountains, though, are all big volcanic chains. I mean, fascinatingly big and active, of course. Right? So earthquake zone, we're in the ring of fire. And we really are in the ring of fire here. And they've got everything set up, a nice fence that's built with bamboo. And you'll just see everything is just sparkling clean. So I'm going to go up here and hang a right and just see if that works its way back, or if I'm going to have to loop around. Now the blue sky is rarer. It rains a lot in Japan, and it really does. These gorgeous flowers down here. The green doesn't happen by accident. But I was in the town, did that quick little live the other day. These flowers are beautiful, and the Japanese really stop. And it goes into the idea of Shintoism. There's a rickshaw, everyone. So the Shinto tradition, which is an animist religion, and it's truly homegrown Japanese religion, it's then fused to some extent with Buddhism, and Zen Buddhism developed here. But is this belief that there is energy in everything. That's the simplest way of explaining Shintoism, which is really the only way I can explain Shintoism, as I'm not an expert at it at all. Nice little local garden down here. But yeah, the blue sky, was just back to that point. It does rain a lot, and it looks like we're going to get quite a lot of rain. It's also a very humid country. So the only times that I've been to Japan has been March previously, which is cherry blossom. I really picked October this time for several reasons. Be a little less busy, although you saw how busy it was. But also the climate. The summers are oppressively hot, and genuinely oppressively hot through most of the country. And then the winters, what does surprise people is they get huge snowfalls. So that town where I did the live the other day, which you can go back and watch, they get up to 10 meters of snow. That's 33 feet of snow. So that's really obviously remarkable. So I'm just kind of following my nose here. Down here, for example, what I'm walking on right now, this is where you manage water. So water flows through all the rain. That gentleman is jogging, and I bet he's jogging back to the main street. Oh, sorry, vehicle comes the road, so I shall move over most respectfully. People don't tend to chat on the streets, and you'd be on a train with loads of people, and everyone is quiet, and they really, really watch their own personal space. The other thing is I'm walking along with my wallet in my back pocket because, you're just not afraid of crime here, which is a pretty amazing thing. So notice this, all these little streets, everything is manicured. The architecture, well, these houses I find super attractive, but much of the architecture is really very functional and bland. I mean, really distinctly functional and bland. But here we are back in some of the bamboo. So, yeah, I'd love to. Ooh, and there is a cemetery. Now, everyone gets cremated in this country, so these would be older or family plots. But they're obviously doing some kind of work in it. And it says not to walk through, so of course I respectfully will not. In fact, there's people there maybe tending to a grave, so I'm not going to get any closer. But if you look up on the hills, you can see the fall colors. The few days ago, when we were driving mountain passes, we got up to 1,500 meters, so about 45, nearly 5,000 feet. And the colors were really popping out then. Fall seems to have come a little late this year. And this is why I never try and promise fall colors for tours for those reasons. But look at this gorgeous bamboo here. It is just amazing, and it's useful. Of course, it's used as scaffolding through much of Asia. Right? So really neat to see. Glad to see that. Of course, I put this up, as I always do, very last second, but there's several people on board. Please feel free to always share these YouTube videos and ask people to subscribe. You know, gradually our channel is growing. Our Facebook page, of course, isn't to the 60 or 70,000, but a lot of that is kind of fake stuff. And I always feel like YouTube is a little more controlled, and so it's a little more honest. This thing has a lucky price. So you have the vending machine culture. So right there you can get waters and iced coffee. They even have vending machines where they're hot. And here's a nice little ice cream place here. So services everywhere, but again, density of population. You know, we were musing last night about how much fun it would be to set up one of these barbecue places at home, and there are some actually that have been there mostly for tourism, but you just need to have the massive turnover of people. Now, to prove that it's safe to come around the corner, here we come. Hi everybody. There we are with the gimbal. So I just intuitive, oh, there's even a food truck back there. So in a lot of these tourist areas, particularly in Kyoto, you find these little skewers for sale. You know, yakitori, if you've heard of that, that's always chicken skewers. And that is, you know, this is actually quite an easy country for people. If you're a vegetarian, you can do it quite well. And it's not spicy food. So people who worry about that don't need to be worried in Japan at all. There's a little bit of a sameness to the food, but the trick to ordering food is just a breeze because, so I'm just looking at the show. Oh, I think there we are. I'm going to loop back into the bamboo because there's pictures of things everywhere. So you take a guess, and more you're even seeing forks and knives. Now I even eat my breakfast with chopsticks, but of course growing up in Western Canada I've eaten with chopsticks my whole life. Do you see this? Now we're through this pristine forest, and there's a vending machine again. And so when you see something like this, is coffee down at the bottom here. 150 yen is about $1 right now. Historically, for a long time, it was 100 yen to the US dollar. So really, that's why you're seeing so much tourism here at the moment. Oh, here comes the train. Now, this is not going to be the Shinkansen, but I can see the train station from my hotel room. So I want to get a little video, and I'll put that up on, oh, maybe I'll make a short, put it up on YouTube. But I'm just going to try and cross the train tracks, because then I know I'm getting back to the main area. And there's everyone doing a lovely loop in here. Please don't deface the bamboo. I totally agree. Totally agree. We did see one tiny bit of graffiti. Can you imagine what sort of a small person you have to be to go and deface something like that? I always make that comment too, because we get less. Hey, thanks, Diana. I appreciate that. Oh, here comes the train. There you go. Wowee. Now obviously here people really wait dutifully, but this is this kind of infrastructure which is just so fantastic. Just gonna get out of everyone's way here. So I like this when they have the railroad crossing warning. Snap, snap. How's that? Yeah, do not walk on the tracks. But this infrastructure is just incredible. And everywhere. Now, when we were driving in the mountains, they were actually doing a lot of work at that time. Oh, sorry. There we go. There we are. Gentleman is being polite, saying keep walking. And that's fair. So, should be walking on the left. Oh, there's Eddie There's Eddie and Louise. Do you want to say hi to YouTube Live?
Totally enjoying
Isn't it fun, you guys? Isn't this gorgeous? Oh, so that's there.
left and right.
It is pictures left and right. Here we are down. So there's the map of the area. So if you get lost, just refer back to that. I can see where I am actually. I don't think that's where I am, to be honest. I saw the red sign, but that could have been a train station on it too. But gosh, they're nice. That couple are such nice people. They've been on a couple of other trips with me. And it's so much fun to see people who just kind of love everything. Because of course travel can be difficult, but it's all about having an open mind and also doing one's very best to respect the local cultures. Oh, there's all these dogs over here. Hold on. I know nothing about this. The only dogs I've seen have been really tiny ones, so. Oh. How cool is this? So, this is, a shrine area. Now let me see if I can sort of escape from the crowds here. Now here's all the school kids up here. Welcome back into the crowds. I mean, really well. I'm thrilled that I'm holding my reception. If it does just randomly cut out, don't be surprised, because when it's this many people, holy moly. So it's a 8-minute walk to the next train station. I can see the sign. So we came here early to get ahead of the crowds. But as soon as you look up and you hear the sounds, wowee, I am in a big crowd now, everyone. The wind is blowing up above us. And this is, look at the kids. The kids are all doing their selfies. That's great to hear. The reception's been great. Okay, someone just walked in the do not enter. Oh, but just to get a photo, I see. Yeah, I believe I go up and hang a left, and that's where I wind my way out. I believe that's what we do. It's oh wow. Oh, there it is. It's a raven or a crow up top. I was hearing it earlier. Like a bird on a wire, like a knight. Anyway, lovely song. So stick with me for a few minutes, everyone, because I'm going to head back to the main street where you see all the fun shops. I don't think I'm going to go in and film in a temple. I am going to Nara tomorrow, which is going back to the 700s. And really one of the bases of everything that kind of defines Japanese culture today. And there's deer all over the place there, although they feed them, which isn't something I like too much. So those people in their rickshaws over there have hired the rickshaws so they can sit down and listen more quietly to the bamboo and the sound. Holy moly, this has gotten busy now. I knew it would. So from here, we're going to go to another historic district, and that's where everyone's going to have the tea ceremony. Now, there's no way I'll be allowed to film that. And very, very honestly, I probably won't even participate just because I have done tea ceremonies before. And so it's a neat thing, but once you've done it, sort of done it, I think. So I'm just keeping the camera kind of pointing up there's people out in their rickshaw. I really think that's what I'd like to do back in Banff, is get a permit and start a rickshaw business in town. Wouldn't that be fun? Be good exercise. Now, one thing that's interesting, you look, the power wires are always, in a country that has fabulous infrastructure, the power wires are above ground. It's all granite and metamorphic rock, and it's just too impossible to move it underground. So that's where you get the kind of functionalist architecture here. Now, so just up ahead, we're heading up. There's the rickshaws turning up. And then I'm going to head up and be at the street where you can see a few of the shops, just for the fun of it. It's nice to have been able to do a live here. So like I say, on your own social media, it's very easy to share this. ladies and gentlemen, is much appreciated. And maybe someone could share it to our subscriber group would be fun. I will put it up. Oh, isn't that sky gorgeous? It's actually, I must admit, looking a little more beautiful through the lens than it is just with my eyes. So, and it's, aha, young ladies and young men smiling at each other. Nice to see. Oh, that gentleman's got the ultimate selfie stick. They've actually banned selfie sticks. I'm holding my gimbal very close to me. There's someone from Canada. You can always tell with the maple leaf. But they keep, they banned the selfie sticks. There's obviously a cruise in, by the way, because I keep seeing those little buttons on people. And that would be over in Osaka. Fun to see. Now, start to see shops. But yeah, the selfie sticks through much of Asia because so many people are using them that they just get whacked in the head. And you know how people use umbrellas because of the sun as well, keep their skin clear. But there's always someone who doesn't hold an umbrella high enough, and bangs other people in the head. All right, I'm going to try and get up to the street here. There's Snoopy chocolate. I don't know how you feel about that. Oh, and then these. There you go. So the street food, by the way, street food in Japan is always safe, always clean, just fine to eat. Ice cream everywhere for those who like ice cream. And then when you see green things, this gentleman is saying, move out of the way for the rickshaw, which is very fair. Now, when people buy food, they don't walk and eat it. Yeah, see? Yeah. But so many Europeans right now, see? Oh, that's cucumber. All right. So the rickshaw came through, and it was nice of the... All right, there we are. Oh, there's a whole... Now check this street out. Now here is a whole train of rickshaws. There you go, coming out here. Diane, great. Diane's just asked, what's my favorite Japanese food? So, honestly, is the Japanese barbecue, the Wagyu beef, which is expensive, but it's less expensive here than when you have it abroad. And you can have it a couple ways. They can cook it for you, but you usually do your own barbecue. And so and very little seasoning. Like I say, it's not spicy. Interestingly enough, I eat so much. Look at that, for carrying her kids. I eat so much sushi at home that I don't actually eat that much here. Now, yesterday I actually had 3 tempura prawns. Just 3 for lunch, but they were big, and that was good. And then in these shops, you have all sorts of interesting little sweet things. It is yummy. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day in Japan because they have salad. See, they're having the matcha ice cream. There's the ice cream with the matcha in it. Matcha's that green tea. And so that's very popular. But wow. I mean, it is just hordes of people. By the way, if you want simple food when you're here, you have the udon or the ramen, of course. I'm not a huge fan personally of ramen, but many people I know are. Here's Wagyu beef and Yuba udon right there, right? So and they always have, this is why it's so easy to order, because this you just point out what you want. And there's tax included, no tipping, like it's exactly a price is a price, exactly. So this one here for 2,200 yen, that is 21 Canadian dollars. Call it 22, so it's about 15 American dollars. Like that is good value for money. See, I want to be a rickshaw driver. I think that would be fun. So because you've got all the school outings, it's really fun. There's a lot of these, well, those are strawberries. And of course, the presentation of food is considered part of the art of food here. So that's a big element of Japanese culture. All right, there's a service truck here. I'm just going to sneak behind it. So how are we doing? That's already been 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. I do very much appreciate the contribution there, Diane. Now these are, there you go. Wagyu beef, round steak rice box, and boiled tofu. Like that would be delicious. But when it's the good Wagyu, yeah, so now you're getting into the really high-end Wagyu here. They often have little pickled vegetables with it, which my buddy Rod does not like. I like some of them. Now, I don't eat fungus, unfortunately, and that does show up a lot, so I'm very careful if I don't know what it is. By the way, taxis are still very expensive in Japan. Now, they're also automatic doors, and generally drivers wear white gloves. Like it's all an experience, but I take them very rarely because, just because of the cost. Now on these sort of tours, you just don't need to either, right? Oh, wow, this is just gorgeous down through here. Now I've just gone past, you'll see one of the trees that are sort of manicured. The sun today is hot. Like, I felt a little badly wearing shorts. Historically, people don't, but I knew today was going to get up to 25 Celsius, about 80 Fahrenheit, but 100% on plane. There in the distance, I don't know if it showed up, was an egret flying. So along the river, there were a whole group of egrets this morning. So that's really fun. And there's some desserts for people who like such things. Yeah. Oh, and there's a little person crying. But very, very dedicated families and parents. But then, I mean, that's the world over. But people really abide by the rules in Japan. And I know Japan, there's some places here where they've been talking about, you know, the real problem of over-tourism. And it's hard to say. Here is a Shinto shrine over here on the right. But I'm not going to walk in with the gimbal. I know there's tons of tourism and people take pictures, but I never think that's particularly appropriate. And because I really don't even know how to practice Shintoism, I don't want to, you know, do something that's disrespectful for all the obvious reasons. But this is where suddenly you see that very functionalist architecture all of a sudden, right? And all the power wires above ground. Yeah. And there is a car coming right around. And I have heard, I've heard a couple of sirens, but I've heard someone honk once. You know, so like I've literally watched yesterday a foreign couple standing in the middle of the road checking their phone for directions, but literally the middle of the road, and a car just sat there and waited for them to move. So here's a Zen temple. So that is a Buddhist temple now over here on the right. It's pretty amazing. This couple just walked out into the road. Isn't that fantastic to see? So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, yeah, I'm going to probably call it quits because I'm going to go back in and see if anyone is lost in the bamboo forest. But thank you for coming and hanging out. Hopefully you've heard me just fine. And it's nice to share these little videos all around. So feel free to share them with everyone you know. I do appreciate contributions when people feel they can make them. And it's nice to share this with everyone. I've been very, very busy on this trip for a whole variety of reasons. Busier than I had kind of planned, but it's okay. You know, it's still fun. So it's a pleasure to share. So big hugs all around. And I would say arigatou gozaimasu and sayonara. So I will see you soon. Peace and love, everyone. And hugs to all of you. And lots of fun trips coming up. So I'm going from here and Taiwan and then home for 4 days, and then I'll be in Costa Rica, Nicaragua. So how's that for a move? Anyway, give you one final view out here of Kyoto, Japan. People waiting for buses, all the temples and everything. There we are. Hey, big hugs. Talk to you soon.